The day I accepted that my son's life no longer included me, I did not cry. I smiled instead. I smiled because I did not want anyone to see how my heart felt like it was folding in on itself, slow and quiet, like a letter being put back into an envelope that would never be opened again. We were standing in the kitchen. The same kitchen where I once packed his school lunches. The same kitchen where he used to sit on the counter and swing his legs while telling me about his dreams. My daughter-in-law did not raise her voice. She did not sound angry. She just spoke like someone reading a weather report. "I think it's best if you don't come over for a while," she said. My son stood behind her. Not beside her. Not in front of her. Behind her. He did not look at me. And in that moment, I understood something that took me many years to fully accept. I was no longer part of the picture they were building. I was something from the past. A frame they had already taken off the wall. I nodded. I said, "I understand." But I did not understand yet. Not really. I walked home that evening with my purse tight in my hand, as if it could hold me together. The sky was gray. The air felt heavy. And every step felt like I was walking away from a version of myself that no longer had a place in this world. That night, I sat alone at my kitchen table. I listened to the clock tick. I touched the chair across from me and remembered how my son used to sit there, asking for seconds, asking for advice, asking for reassurance. And that was the night I realized something that no one prepares a mother for. Loving your child does not guarantee you a place in. I was not always a lonely woman at a quiet table. I was once the center of a small, noisy world. My son was born on a rainy afternoon. I remember the sound of the rain hitting the hospital window. I remember holding him and thinking that if I loved him enough, he would never feel alone. I was wrong about many things. I raised him mostly by myself. His father worked long hours and slowly drifted away from us. It was never dramatic. Just distance. Just silence filling spaces where words used to live. So it became the two of us. I learned how to stretch meals. How to fix broken toys with tape. How to clap the loudest at school events even when my hands hurt. My son was kind. Quiet. The kind of boy who listened more than he spoke. When he left for college, I cried for 3 days. Not because I didn't want him to go, but because I knew a chapter was closing. Still, he called. He visited. He needed me. Then he met her. I remember the first time he brought her home. She was polite. Soft-spoken. She smiled carefully, like someone who was measuring the room. I told myself not to judge. I told myself love grows in different ways. I welcomed her. I cooked her favorite foods once I learned them. I gave them space. I thought that was enough. When they married, I sat in the front row and cried again. This time, the tears were mixed. Pride and fear walking hand in hand. After the wedding, things changed slowly. So slowly that I blamed myself for noticing. Calls became shorter. Visits became scheduled. Spontaneous moments disappeared. If I offered advice, it felt heavy in the room. If I stayed quiet, I felt invisible. I told myself this was normal. That children grow. That mothers step back. But no one tells you how far back. When their first child was born, I thought maybe things would change. A grandchild feels like a bridge. A reason to gather again. At first, I was invited. I held the baby. I sang soft songs I used to sing to my son. But rules appeared. Schedules. Boundaries I did not know I was crossing. I tried to adjust. I really did. Still, something in the air felt tight whenever I entered their home. Like I was a guest who stayed too long even when I followed the clock. My daughter-in-law remained calm. Always calm. That calm was harder than anger. My son spoke less and less when I was around. He watched her face before answering me, as if checking which version of himself was allowed that day. And I told myself again, be patient. Be kind. Be quiet. I did not know silence could hurt this much. The first real crack happened over something very small. Dinner. I had cooked my son's favorite meal and invited them over. I made sure to ask first. I made sure it fit their schedule. They arrived late. The baby was tired. My daughter-in-law looked tense. During dinner, I said softly, "He used to love this dish when he was little." It was a memory. Just that. She put her fork down and smiled without warmth. "He's not little anymore," she said. The room went quiet. My son looked at his plate. I felt something close around my chest. I nodded. I know, I said. After that night, visits became rare. When I asked if I had done something wrong, my son said, "No, Mom. Everything's fine." But everything was not fine. I started choosing my words carefully. I practiced conversations in my head before calling. I erased messages before sending them. I did not want to be a problem. One afternoon, I stopped by unannounced, like I used to years ago. The door opened halfway. "Oh," she said. "We were just about to leave." They were not. I could see the toys on the floor. The television on. I apologized. I left. That walk home felt longer than usual. Another time, I brought a small gift for my grandchild. She thanked me politely and put it away, unopened. "We're trying to keep things minimal," she said. Minimal. I started feeling like excess. My son stopped calling unless I called first. When I spoke, his answers were careful. Short. Once, I asked him, "Are you happy?" He paused. "Yes," he said. But his voice sounded far away. The day my daughter-in-law asked me not to come over anymore did not come from nowhere. It was built from moments like these. Small bricks stacked quietly. Still, when she said it, I felt my body go cold. "It's just better for our family," she said. "We need space." I looked at my son. I waited for him to say something. He didn't. That was when I knew. I went home and sat in the dark. I replayed every conversation, every smile, every moment I thought love was enough. I asked myself if I had failed. That night, I wrote my son a letter. I did not send it. I wrote another. And another. None of them felt right. I was learning something very slowly. Sometimes love must be quiet. Sometimes love must step aside. Even when it breaks you. After that day in the kitchen, I stayed away. At first, I told myself it was temporary. A few weeks. Maybe a month. I kept my phone close, just in case. I checked it more times than I want to admit. Morning. Afternoon. Night. No messages. I began to notice how quiet my house really was. The refrigerator humming. The clock ticking. My own footsteps sounding too loud on the floor. I tried to keep busy. I folded clothes that were already clean. I watered plants that didn't need water. At night, I lay in bed and remembered small things. The way my son used to call out, "Mom," when he had a bad dream. The way he leaned his head on my shoulder when he was tired. The way he once told me, "You're my safe place." I wondered when I stopped being safe. One afternoon, I saw photos online. My granddaughter at the park. My son smiling. I was not there. I told myself not to feel hurt. I told myself this was life moving forward. Still, something inside me ached quietly. Weeks turned into months. When my birthday came, I did not expect much. But I hoped. The phone stayed silent. That evening, I made myself a small cake. I lit one candle. I watched it burn. I whispered, "It's okay," to a room that did not answer back. Later that night, my son sent a short message. "Happy birthday, Mom. Hope you're well." That was all. I typed a reply. Deleted it. Typed again. In the end, I wrote, "Thank you. I love you." He reacted with a heart emoji. That hurt more than no reply at all. I realized then that I was holding on to a version of him that no longer existed. And maybe he was holding on to a version of me that felt like pressure. I started questioning myself more deeply. Had I been too present? Too loving? Too much? I remembered all the times I stepped in when he struggled. All the times I fixed things before he asked. I thought I was helping. Maybe I was teaching him that I would always be there to lean on. And now someone else wanted that place. That thought sat heavy in my chest. One rainy afternoon, I found the letters I had written but never sent. I read them slowly. They were full of apologies. Full of explanations. Full of fear. I realized something then. None of the letters asked what he needed. They only spoke about how I felt. That was the first quiet shift inside me. The real turning point came on a day that looked ordinary. I was at the grocery store, standing in the cereal aisle, when I saw a young mother with her son. The boy was tugging at her sleeve, talking non-stop. She looked tired. But she listened. Something about that moment broke me open. I saw myself in her. Years ago. And I realized something painful. Raising a child is not about keeping them close forever. It is about preparing them to walk away without guilt. I had not meant to make my son feel torn. But maybe, without knowing it, I had. That evening, I sat at my table and wrote one last letter. This one was different. I did not defend myself. I did not explain the past. I wrote, I see now that you are building your own life. I am proud of you. I do not want to be a weight you carry. I will always love you, quietly, from wherever you need me to be. I did not ask for a reply. I mailed it the next morning. Then I did something that surprised even me. I stopped waiting. I stopped checking my phone every hour. I stopped replaying conversations. I began building a life that did not revolve around being needed. I joined a small community group. I took morning walks. I learned to sit with myself without judgment. It was not easy. Some days, grief came in waves. Other days, acceptance felt possible. Weeks later, my son called. His voice sounded unsure. Mom, he said. I got your letter. I waited. I didn't realize how much pressure I felt, he said. I didn't know how to say it without hurting you. My throat tightened. I understand, I said. And this time, I truly did. He thanked me for giving him space. That word again. Space. But now it sounded different. Not rejection. Not punishment. Just room to breathe. He did not ask me to come over. I did not ask to visit. We talked like two adults learning new ground. When the call ended, I cried softly. Not from pain. From release. I was no longer fighting reality. I was finally meeting it. After that phone call, something inside me settled. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But the sharp edge of my sadness softened. I stopped seeing the distance between my son and me as a punishment. I began to see it as a season. A season I did not choose, but one I could learn to live in. We spoke occasionally after that. Not often. But honestly, sometimes it was just a short call. Sometimes a message. I learned not to read too much into the silence between them. Silence no longer meant abandonment. Sometimes, it simply meant life was full. I stopped offering advice unless he asked. I stopped bringing up the past. I listened more. And when I listened, I heard something new in his voice. Relief. That realization hurt. But it also freed me. I had been holding on to him too tightly, even when I thought I was letting go. Letting go, I learned, is not about leaving. It is about trusting. Months passed. One afternoon, he called and said, "We're coming by for a short visit, if that's okay." I said yes. But this time, I did not rush to clean every corner of the house. I did not plan a big meal. I simply opened the door. My daughter-in-law smiled. A real smile this time. My granddaughter reached for me. I held her gently. Without fear. Without expectation. The visit was calm. Short. And when they left, I did not feel empty. I felt grateful. I understood then that my role had changed. I was no longer the center. I was part of the background now. And that was not a failure. That was life continuing. There were still hard days. Holidays felt quieter. Photographs still stung sometimes. But the pain no longer defined me. I began to enjoy my mornings again. I learned how to sit with my tea and not rush through the hours. I made peace with the woman in the mirror. She was no longer just a mother waiting to be needed. She was a whole person again. And slowly, without forcing anything, my son came closer. Not like before. But in a new way. A healthier way. Now, when I think back to that day in the kitchen, I see it differently. I no longer remember it as the day I was pushed out. I remember it as the day I was asked to step aside. There is a difference. Being pushed hurts. Stepping aside takes strength. I learned that love does not always mean holding on. Sometimes, love means trusting that what you gave was enough. My son does not belong to me anymore. He belongs to his life. His family. His future. And I belong to mine. If you are listening to this and your heart feels familiar pain, if you feel forgotten, replaced, or quietly set aside, please know this. Your love mattered. Your presence mattered, And even if your role has changed, your worth has not. Some chapters end without apology. Some doors close without explanation. But life still finds ways to bring warmth back into the room. I sit at my table now, not in sadness, but in peace. The clock still ticks. The house is still quiet. But I am no longer waiting. I am living. And that, I have learned, is enough.